Hello friends, this video on electricity part 11 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 10 before going ahead with part 11. We will now talk about heating effects of current. So what actually we are going to study in this topic is that whenever electric current flows through a circuit, there is some amount of dissipation of heat which takes place. So now we will see that how is that heat utilized in different kinds of electrical appliances. So what do we mean by heating effect of current? It means dissipation of source energy in the form of heat in an electric circuit. As I mentioned before, in any electric circuit, there is a source of energy. For example, when I talk of this electric circuit which you see here, you have this battery. So this battery acts as the source of the potential difference, right? It provides the potential difference. And because of this potential difference, there is an electric current which flows in this circuit. Now the amount of energy which comes from this source, some portion of this source energy is dissipated in the form of heat. So this is known as heating effect of current. So now we will see how is this dissipated heat utilized in many different ways. So let us consider this circuit and let us suppose that current I flows through this circuit. When this key is closed, some amount of current I flows through this circuit. So current flows through this resistance R, right? So let us say work done in moving a charge Q through a potential difference V. Let us suppose the potential difference provided by this source is V. That is the potential difference between these 2 points. That means right now we are concentrating across this resistor. We say that amount of current through this resistor is I and the potential difference across this resistor is V. So what is the work done in moving a charge Q through this potential difference V? What would be the work done in moving a charge Q through a potential difference V? What will be the work done? That will be equal to Q into V. That is charge into potential difference. So what is the power input to the circuit? How much power is provided to the circuit? Power is always equal to work done per unit time, right? So work done is Q into V divided by time. Now charge per unit time is current. So this is equal to VI. So therefore we can say that this is the power, this much is the power supplied to the circuit. So how much is the energy supplied to the circuit? The energy supplied to the circuit will be equal to power into time, because power is nothing but energy per unit time. So this will be equal to VI into T. So this much is the total amount of energy that is supplied to the circuit. So we can say this is the total source energy. Now this energy is dissipated as heat across these resistance R. So how much is the heat dissipated? Heat dissipated H is equal to VIT. Now from from Ohm's law, we know that V is equal to IR. So we can put V is equal to IR. So we get H is equal to I square RT. This is known as Joule's law of heating. This is called Joule's law of heating. So according to Joule's law of heating, if you have a circuit where there is a source which provides some amount of source energy because of which a current I flows through the circuit, then the heat that is dissipated across the resistor is given by I square RT, where R is the value of that resistance and I is the current flowing through the circuit, right? So this heat is useful for many different applications. We will look at some of those applications in the next few slides. So from Joule's law of heating, what did we conclude? We conclude that the heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current, because H is equal to I square RT. So it is directly proportional to square of current. It is proportional to the value of resistance for a given current. it is directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. So this also tells us that if current keeps on flowing through a circuit, the resistor gets heated up gradually, right? Because some amount of heat is getting produced across the resistor. So the resistor will get heated up in due course of time. Let us now look at some of the applications of heating effects of current. That means the heat which is dissipated when electric current flows through a circuit, we will see how does that heat get utilized for some important applications. Examples of such things would be electric heater, electric kettle, electric iron, electric bulb. All these things make use of heating effects of current. So let us look at this electric bulb. If you observe an electric bulb closely, you would see that there is a filament inside the bulb, and that filament retains most of the heat that is generated during the flow of electric current through the circuit. So whatever heat is generated across the resistor, that is stored by this filament, and this filament is made up of tungsten. Now why is it made up of tungsten? Because tungsten has very high melting point, so that even though it accumulates so much of heat in itself, it does not melt. So what happens? The filament becomes hot, and when it becomes hot enough, it starts emitting light. So in a bulb, you have a filament made of tungsten. So this filament retains most of the heat generated, and when it becomes sufficiently hot, it emits light. So now what we do, this tungsten, this filament is thermally isolated so that so much of heat doesn't damage the other parts of the bulb. Most of the power consumed by the filament is given as heat, and a very small portion of it is given as light. So most portion is given as heat and some is given as light, right? So in this way we see that in bulb, electrical energy also gets converted into heat energy and light energy. Let us look at another important application, that is electric fuse. You would have seen that there is something called fuse at your home. What is the purpose of the fuse? It prevents excessive flow of current through the circuit. As I mentioned, sometimes excessive flow of current can damage the different components present in the circuit. So in order to prevent that, fuse is used. So fuse is connected in series with a device, and so because the amount of current which flows through, if you connect two things in series, same amount of current will flow through each of them. So let us suppose if some excessive amount of current I is about to flow through the device, the same current will have to pass through the fuse first. Now what does a fuse do? Fuse is nothing but it consists of a wire which is made up of some metal of specific melting point. For example, this kind of fuses are the ones which you generally see at your homes. So if you see, it consists of a wire, this wire. So this wire is made up of a metal of specific melting point. Now as current increases and it increases beyond a certain limit, this wire will break because it will reach the melting point of the wire and the wire breaks. And once the wire breaks, your circuit breaks. And the circuit breaks means no current further flows in the circuit. So we have to choose this wire appropriately. We should not choose a wire of very high melting point. In that case, it will allow very high amount of current to flow through it because it will not melt easily. So we need to choose an appropriate melting point so that as soon as the current increases beyond a certain limit, the wire melts and the circuit becomes an open circuit, or the circuit breaks and current cannot further flow through the circuit.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.